Right. No. I have no idea why it keeps doing that. Right. Now let's see if this is working. Morning, everyone. Straight off the bat. Oh. Stevie, how are you, mate? I can understand why your Polish wife continually slaps the piss out of you, mate, because you're a smart ass like me. But anyway, how are you, mate? Look, we're having lots of issues with technology today. This is the life of a IRL content creator, but everything's perfect, you know. So if it continually drops out, please don't stress. Audio. So excuse me for a second. I've just got to get into a couple of chats. Come on. Pub Test, how are you, bud? T, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Just let me get this sorted, okay? Unfortunately, you can connect. Thank you. Right, so let's go to Twitcheroonsky. Interesting. Come on. Hey, Devil Rocks Gaming, how are you, bud? Winter Queen T, welcome. Just give me a second to sort a few things out, right? And then I'll get onto it. What? No, we want desktop. Thank you. That would be lovely. Come on, technology, work with me. Just give me a second, people, and I'll get onto this. Chat. Let's go to... I can't believe this app. It's telling me to follow my own channel. Great. That's what you do. Oh, dear. What? Okay, hang on a second. All right. T, welcome, bud. Thank you very much to the 7 people that are in YouTube. Just going to get a few little technical difficulties sorted out. Jack, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream, mate. I've just got to get a few things sorted, so just give me a second. Oh, it is, Stephen. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, mate. I get a bit feral like that. I need to be out in nature sort of every week, or I just lose me marbles, you know. Although, if depending on who you are, some people say I did that a long time ago. Hang on. All right. All right. Jack, how are you? Welcome, everyone. Noopy, welcome. Technician. Yeah, it's all about the bigger picture, technician. All right. Now, just excuse me for a second, everyone. Just got a couple of little technical issues to sort out, and then we'll get on to it, okay? It's all part of the big plan, technician. Stick around, mate. All will be revealed. But now, is the audio okay? Is it in sync and everything? Right. Now, that's the live stream. About. Great. So, I need to change that. Right. Looks and sounds good. All right, people. So let me just give you the rundown, right? Basically, in Western Australia, right, August is the worst time of the year to fish. That's why I've done so little of it, okay? The weather pattern that we have in August is the weather pattern that we used to have in July, and back in the 80s and that sort of stuff, we used to sort of have it in like May, June. So what happens is, throughout the year, you've got different changes in temperature and conditions. So most rivers in WA are a mixture of salt and fresh water. So in the winter, when the temperature's colder and we have a lot more rain, we have all the fresh water coming in from the high country, flushing down to the ocean, as has been. And that's when you drive past rivers, you see them looking all silty and that sort of stuff. You know that there's been heaps and heaps of rainfall. You've got more fresh water than salt water, and the fresh water pushes out to the ocean. So for the last month, out here where I am in Bunbury, WA, we've had dirty water getting flushed out into the ocean to the point that it's been going out for quite a long way into the salt water, which is all part of the cycle. You just have to work around it. Correspondingly, in September, October, November, when the heat returns, the rain stops, the salt water pushes back, because with the heat, there's evaporation. Salt water is usually mixing in with the fresh water, okay? And what it does is the salt water pushes back up to the rivers. And then what we have is the situation where everything starts to clear up. So in the last week, we've had very little rain. This was like soup last time we came here, but now it's as clear as, it's like an aquarium virtually. Now we have our conditions. This water will come up to about here within the next couple of hours. Now, as well as the fishing today, we're going to be doing a campfire cooking stream. Thankfully, we've been given the privilege of being able to fish and cook on private property. So therefore, we don't have to worry about, people being around and all the rest of it. You might have the odd boat or kayak that comes past, but hey, we don't own the rivers, and we're just lucky that we've been given the privilege. So what we're going to do today was, if we're going to have a very, very simple fishing day, we're going to put out a bait, and then what we're going to do is we are going to test out new products that have come in to place onto our website, okay? And then what we're going to do is just see how they work. We've got a couple of reels, we've still got rods on the way, we've got a heap of soft plastics. I hope I brought the right soft plastics box. Okay, so it's just going to be a nice cruisy day. I'm hoping that the internet holds up, because I would have started streaming an hour earlier. I just couldn't get internet. It was just ridiculous. All right, so this looks absolutely perfect today, people. Okay, now, I don't know what's happened with the tide forecast, but see how those flowers on top of the river are heading down towards the ocean? That signifies that we've got a low tide that's going out to the sea, which is not what was forecast. But one thing that'll happen with that, okay, is those flowers will stop flowing eventually, And then usually when you have a change of tide, it'll take a little while for them to start going back the other way. Either way, we've got good conditions today, and I've already seen a couple of fish sort of belting around and feeding while I was trying to get everything going, right? There was a massive splash underneath this tree right here. So with the soft plastics, it's going to be quite a simple formula. We're going to try a variety of soft plastics. We're going to do a variety of jig heads and a variety of techniques and just see how we go. I don't know whether we catch anything, but one thing I do know that we'll catch is we're going to cook a beautiful roast in this tie rim over here. I've bought firewood, got the axe, and away we go. Why does it keep disconnecting? Seriously, why does it keep disconnecting? It's not even overheating. Oh, you're already hungry. Daz, Dan, Derek Jamison. Oh, how are you, mate? Thanks, Lowy. People, I don't know what's wrong with the internet. Campski, how are you, bud? But this is ridiculous. Seriously, this is ridiculous. You know? Hey, Lysel, thank you very much for the raid, bud. How are you? Exile, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream. Scott, can you please organise a shout out for Exile and Lysel and everyone? Thanks, people. Thank you very, very much for bringing your community across to our community. Hopefully it'll start to sort itself out. Derek, I've got Starlink, bud, but where I am with the trees and that sort of stuff, mate, I can't get a good view of the sky, and I have to resort back to mobile connection. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very, very much for the raid. So don't worry, Derek. We know what we're doing on this channel, bud. We've been doing it for a long time. We've got all the technology, but it's the same old story. You can't really use Starlink while you're moving, and where I am, I don't normally have problems with reception. It's just Telstra, bud. So, Exile, how are you, bud? What's going on? Lysel, thank you very, very much for the raid. What do you stream, mate? Let's have a look. Okay. Art. Excellent, Lysel. Thanks, mate. Yeah, please go and support Lysel. I'll check out your stream a little bit later and work from there. All right, Derek, all good. Now, we've got to get everything started, right? You don't need to, yeah, you don't need to. Just, you know, exclamation mark SO. So, yeah, welcome to our office for today. Okay, here we go. Right, dun-da-da. This is the Collie River here in Western Australia. Okay, my name's Jim. Welcome to Australis Fishing. We also have our second channel, Australis TV. We will be going across to Australis TV in a minute. So can someone please put the link in there? Okay. Actually, what we might do, let's do a little bit of a... Yeah, not with the one that I've got, Derek, because I got Starlink when it first started, bud, which was last year. And then even though they say you can just upgrade it to mobile, it doesn't happen, bud. Diamond Epsilon, how are you, bud? Yeah, so where we are too, mate, you need a clear view of the sky. As you can see, there's too many trees here, so you can't use it. When we are campfire cooking, it'd be okay, but away you go, you know. So anyway, right, let me just get this. Yeah, I know that, Pub Test, but just put the link in the channel for it, mate, so people can click on it. So, right, now just give me a second. Right, I've just got to sort this out. Okay. Oh dear, I think I might just leave it on and not bother with it. All right, let's go. Thank you, Pub Test. Yes, so everyone that's come in, we've got 2 Twitch channels. Australis TV is our second one. Soggy, how are you? And in fact, while we're here, let's just do it. Welcome, everyone. All right, just give me a second. We're going to go across to Australis TV, people. All right. For some reason, I think that the Lowy, how are you, bud? All right. Welcome, everyone. That's good. Excellent. All right, let's leave that on there. We'll go back to what we were doing. There we are. That's our main screen. Everything's good, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fishing Eddie, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. Going to chuck this up here. Excellent. Now I can see that. I can see chat. All right, so what's on the menu today with the campfire cooking? I'm going to show everyone how to cook a steak. We've got a beautiful beef eye fillet steak. And on top of that too, I brought in the ingredients to make bread. Okay, wow. Thank you very much to the anonymous gifter. Oh, can we also have a shout out for Illuminati, please, people? Thank you. Labsy, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. All right, the anonymous gifter that just gifted 10 subs. Thank you for gifting a sub to Manzi, Jellyfish, Bullet, Princess Peach Pie's in here as well. Brass Wind Chimes, Frogsy, Extreme NZ, Snow Felix, Scotty CC, and also Bourbon Slurp. And let's face it, that's how you need to drink bourbon. You start off drinking, and after about 6 of them, you know, you start slurping them down, you know. Yes, of course you do, Bardas. Drag me down, then bring me up again, mate. The oldest trick in the book. All right, welcome everyone. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, being a West Aussie, what I've done is I've gone for West Australian products, right? So, I've got Lighthouse flour, which comes out of Anchor Foods in Fremantle. I've got some beautiful Margaret River free-range chicken there. And I also got some traditional bacon. Soggy, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. I got some traditional bacon from the back of the animal. And on top of that, I've also got some beautiful beef eye fillet steak. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off after we fish, you know, the conditions and that sort of stuff. We're going to start going into a bit of campfire cooking. I'm going to cook a steak for lunch, okay? And then work from there. So, right, let's get on with it. And thank you for everyone that's come across. So, I had to go out during the week, right? and buy a heap of soft plastics. Right, no, not buy, sorry, a soft plastics box. So what we've done, okay, these are all our soft plastics, people. Oh, it is Diddy, and I'm going to show everyone how to cook it on coals. Anybody can cook indoors on a gas hot plate or an electric hot plate, people, but cooking with fire out in the bush and that sort of stuff in an old tyre rim, if you can cook on that, you can cook anywhere. So we've got all our soft plackies, right? What P? How are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube, matey. Right. I actually... Oh, it is B Diddy. We'll be fine, mate. So, dun-da-da. There we go, people. That's where all the jig heads are. Now, what I'm going to do is, I've never been so organised in my life. We're going to try a few different techniques. When you're fishing rivers, right? What, P? We got heaps of stuff to cook today, mate. Yeah, it's going to be, really good. We're going to cook steak and we're going to cook chicken, right? And the other thing is too, when you go camping, people don't really like to eat. They don't really like to eat too much veg. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stuff the chicken with Granny Smith apple, onion, and a little bit of sweet potato. With the sweet potato, if you're going to buy sweet potato, buy the purple one that's like the white on the inside, because when you cook with it, okay, it goes like marzipan and it gives it a really, everything that you cook it in is a really sweet flavour, you know. All right, now, let me just get something else here. These are our soft plastics that we have in the shop. No, taro's different, Soggy. We're just using the white sweet potato that's more like a yam, bud, okay? You're thinking of, the taro is a different type of root vegetable. I'm just talking, I think it's not like an actual yam, but it's similar in a sort of way. Right, now, great, we've got that. Scotty, how are you, bud? Now, we got our landing net. You've got to handle your fish properly, okay? Yeah, good, Scotty. And look, to the anonymous gifter, that's about the fifth time they've done that in the channel now. I'd like to be able to thank you personally. So if you could just send me a message, whoever it is. But look, thank you very, very much, okay? All right. And what I've done today, people, is I've actually brought... Oh, what do you mean this time, Loey? It wasn't you the other times, was it? Cheeky bugger. Aussie Welsh, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream, bud. Right. So we bought our little riverbank rod holder. Here we go. That goes in the ground there. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. I'll figure it out. All right, let's go. So, not yet, what P? Normally what happens is, bud, in August we have this little bit of a lull in the wet, right? And then we have the lull in the wet. What happens is we usually have a bit more rain in September, which is good for the farmers, because if they can get, 5 or 10 mil of rain in September, it'll just tie the crops over, bud, and it'll make for a good hay season. If you get nice, even temperatures in October, that's a beautiful reel. Look at that. That's still spinning. Welshie, you're trouble, Welshie, aren't you? All that clean air in the valleys gets to you after a while, mate. Now, people, when you buy fishing tackle, right, and you put a rod and reel together, okay, every single rod and reel that you put together has a balance point. So remember, you saw it here first before a few other people start saying that they figured it out, like it normally works on this platform, you know. So you want your rod and reel's balance point to be within the front foregrip. Okay, it's a lot harder to do it on saltwater gear, but you should be able to go close. So see that there, right? That's my balance point on this rod and reel, which is good because when I hold it, that's my point for my casting, and I can sit there and hold that all day, right? And it won't fatigue me. I might a little bit. I might get a bit of a sore finger or whatever. But when you get older, you tend to sort of appreciate anything that helps you out with managing fatigue, you know. So as you can see there, this is a beautifully balanced rod and reel. What I'm using today is just a Veritas rod from Abu. We still haven't got our, that is beautifully balanced. That actually is a bit of a weapon. I can do the old point and shoot with this. Nice. All right. So these are sample reels that we've got in. Okay. And what we might need to do is just up that a bit like that. Hey, Europrop, how are you, bud? Right. Now, what we're using today is I don't like using PE braid, right? But I'm going to make an exception. This is some 10-pound PE braid that I brought in from overseas just as samples to test it out. They said that their PE braid is better than everyone else's PE braid. So we'll find out, won't we? Too Foul, how are you, bud? I don't know whether it's a honey hole, but, you know, we're going to find out. So let's have a look. Now, look, when you're using soft plastics in rivers for bream, right, you need to be able to use colours that you can see in the water and that can also, you know, be seen by the fish. So if you are fishing the river in July, August, and it's muddy and that sort of stuff, try and you use your white soft plastics, because what will happen is the white soft plastics will go the same colour as the water that you're in, which usually matches the colour of the bait fish as well. Okay? Oh, the thing is, Loey, there's no right or wrong when it comes to your tackle, because you've got to have a variety of soft plastics to match a variety of conditions. Like some days you'll come out here and you'll throw everything at the fish, right? You'll throw blues, greens, orange, not orange, sorry, but blues, you know, not really too many blues, but some people use them in the rivers, you know, greens, browns, blacks, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? Reds. Then out of nowhere, you'll look like something that's just come out of a rave that's like fluoro orange and fluoro yellow. You chuck it out and the fish hit it. There's no rules, mate. You've just got to have everything ready to work for you, you know. So let me just get some of this in here. Yeah, I'm actually quite shocked as to how smooth these reels are, because they're just, I'm just shocked, because traditionally when I dealt with overseas, right, they would say that they had X amount of quality and it wouldn't happen. And then when it actually happens, you're sort of a bit taken back by it. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to use your standard weedless jig hooks that have the ball sinker head on them or whatever. Now, this one here is a through construction. So basically the hook comes through here, it's bent at 90 degrees, then they do the jig head on it, which is what you want, okay? Now, there's two ways you can fish soft plastics. You can fish them, right, where you have your braid, okay, straight to a snap swivel, which is really good because then you can just undo the, or, you know, take the little snap and undo it, okay, put your soft plastic on there or whatever with your jig head, and then all you do is just change the tails. The only problem is if you start to hook your bigger brim, what will happen is if you get taken around structure, braid has really good properties. One property that it doesn't have is old mate chicken, how are you? Steve, no I don't. Yeah, we do. What P will do that later. And what will happen is braid doesn't have good abrasion resistance, right? So it's literally like cotton. So the slightest nick and it usually just snaps. That's why personally what I do is I'll run braid down to a snap swivel. I'll run about anywhere between 30 to 50 centimetres of fluorocarbon depending on conditions. The other thing is too, when you fish with a loop on the end of your line rather than the snap swivel, with a loop, it gives your soft plastics far more action in the water. They go up, down, left, right, they'll dart, you know what I mean? And it looks far more natural, if you know what I mean. So what we'll do is I'll just get a little snap swivel, right? And then we'll work from there. No, I'll get a crane swivel. Sorry, what am I saying? Something like that. Usually I've got them on my feet. All right, so we have 12 wraps around the braid. You put it back through the eyelet there, right? Bring it back through here, okay? Hey, Susie, how are you? Another 10, okay? Like that. And then you just clamp it down. And just let me go and get some scissors and I'll be back in a second. Oh dear, where'd we go here? Oh, thanks, Soggy. Look, mate, with our community, we welcome everyone, mate. We try and keep a positive and proactive sort of content going in the stream, right? And what we do, mate, is when we stream, it's not so much about the fishing. The least important thing in our stream is the number of fish we catch. The most important thing is we all interact together, okay? Because that's how we work at Europrop, and it just makes life a lot easier for us, a lot less hassles. Okay, so what I might do is not necessarily, Stephen. What you do, mate, is you just get yourself a reel with a couple of spare spools, mate. That sort of saves you the unneeded expense, if you know what I mean. There it is. Right. That's just your standard improved clinch knot. Just excuse me for a second, everyone. Sorry about this. I just got to double check on family. I'll be back in a second. Right. Yeah, Euro prop, buddy. It's not dumb, mate. If you don't want your number on Twitch, we'll come and watch on YouTube, bud. All right. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the only problem when you use this method, okay, is that it will actually chew up a bit of your monofilament. Now, what I've got here is I have got Jigsaw. How are you, bud? I have got 12-pound fluorocarbon, right? So with this 12-pound fluorocarbon, with brim, you can go down to 10. Some of the tournament anglers use like 6-pound leader. And I saw one down at a river down south one day, and he's sitting there going, oh, you know, like this. And I've gone, everything all right, mate? He goes, yeah, I just got smashed by a brim, man. And I went, oh, okay, what pound leader were you using? He goes, oh, 6 pound. And I said, well, no wonder you got smashed. You know, like, what do you expect, you know? But anyway, I usually go down to about 10 as my lowest leader. So what we have here is we have the fluorocarbon, right? Now with the fluorocarbon, you just tie yourself a granny knot in here. So you form the loop like that, okay? So with that there, what we do is you put that through the eye of the hook like so, right? Bring that through there. And then what you do is that tag end you bring through the granny knot that you tied. Now, try not to make the granny knot too big, because when you try and sort out your, what have I done there? I've put it through the eye. Bring it back. Let's do that again. Yeah, don't make it too big, because when you go and try and tighten your knot, what it'll do, right, is it will make it a little bit tougher to sort of keep the loop down to a manageable size. Because if you have your loop too big, what it does is it will... your soft plastic and your jig head can also just sit here and it'll end up going through the loop, and sometimes it can get snagged when you're going through snaggy areas. So we'll just bring that through here, like so, like that. Beautiful. Right. Bring that down here. So you do your normal clinch knot. Right. Back through the loop that you had. Now, the mistake with loop knots is People always try and pull the tag end towards the hook. Don't do that. Right, pull it back towards the main line. Okay, and the loop that I've made is a bit big, but we'll get over that. Okay. Now, because the rivers cleared up a bit, the choice of soft plastics today is a bit different to what it would be, okay, if the water was murky. Now, are they bigger or smaller? Oh, they're about the same size, I think. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try it with a little 3-inch soft plastic, if we can find one. Now, what we'll do is we'll try one of the ones that we brought in. Let me just get this through here now. Right, and then what we'll do is when we've got the soft plastic out there, we will put a bait, if you know what I mean. There we are, good. Now remember, we're only using 10-pound braid here. So with a 10-pound braid, that just makes it a lot easier to cast good distances. It's nice and thin, so it'll cut through the water quite well. Okay, now let's go through this. And of course, the colour that I'm after is probably, here we are. All right, so what we're going to start off with today, right, is we're going to start off with a dark soft plastic. No, not even close to that. When you fish for bream and that, Stephen, you need to use more natural colours, bud. Right, so yeah. Now, let's get that in there. Right, bring that in here. Let's get that through here. Right, so what we've got here is we've got a little 3-inch soft plastic. We want that to sit like this, right, on the soft plastic, okay, when we've got it finished. So what we'll do is we'll come in through the top of the soft plastic, out through the very front of it like that. You just go natural colours, Steve, you know, like browns, blacks. Bring that down through here like that. Flip that around. See how that's flipped around now? Great. So what we can do is we can bunt that up against the front of that there. Bring that through the slot in there. And what we have is we have a really nicely presented little soft plastic like that, fam. Okay, see that? So that's how it's going to sit in the water, which is virtually weedless. Okay, so you'll be able to cast this around structure and not get snagged, all right? So now what we've got to do is test this new gear out, which is exactly what we're about to do. All right, let's see. So, and then what we'll do is we'll get the baits out in a minute. So, first thing I want to do is I want to check the area in front of me, right, before I start doing big long casts, if you know where I'm coming from, right? Come on, bud. There you go. All right. So, this is real smooth. So what I want to do is, my first cast, a lot of people make the mistake, right? Traditionally, especially you learn this in freshwater. My first cast should really be from about here, okay? And you don't want to try and belt out right the way across the river. Fish in front of you first. There could be a fish under this tree, so let's find out. That is smooth. Oh, that's smooth. All right, now, when you cast out, you'll see a little V coming towards you. That's your braid heading towards you because your soft plastic's still sinking, right? I'm absolutely gobsmacked, people. This reel is as smooth as silk. It's like using... Right, now, this is going to be good for us. I'm hoping that we don't lose the connection. Okay. Right, now, hopefully that'll work. So check this out. This is a good thing about using phones when you live stream, right? So check this out. See that little soft plastic in the water there? Right, let me show you how it works in the water. right? We'll just do it on this lighter bottom here. So see that little soft plastic? See how that's how they sit in the water. See how they sit vertical? And then what you're doing is you're just trying to like lift it up and the tail will wiggle and then it'll land like that. And with the angle on this jig head, right, this soft plastic has a very natural action in the water. See that? We still got that on the stream. Yep, good. So what we'll do is we'll zoom in again. The Wi-Fi is finally working, right? So check this out, people, right? So there's a little soft plastic in the water. This is what you don't get on other shows and that sort of stuff, right? So that'll come in and see how it's sitting at about 30 degrees and then, you know, sometimes 45 degrees. That's the beauty of using a loop rather than a snap swivel on the end, okay? And see how that tail's wiggling, right? Okay. And then that's what it does, right? And it looks like a little natural. And we'll do that again, right? We'll do that again. Okay. Now with the angle on the soft plastic, what that's doing, right, is that's going to sit there like that. If I had a different jig head, right, it'd be doing a different angle in the water. So let's just change this back. Right. Bring that through here. Right. Chuck that down through there. Is everything okay now? Oops. Right, good. Oy. So, what we're going to do here is, that's probably a bit long, but I think they can sometimes be a bit like flighty. Wow. Absolutely gobsmacked, people. The quality of this. Okay. So, techniques, they vary, right? Traditionally, you'll do a couple of bumps and then let it sit on the bottom. And what you do, right, is just try and recover your line on the way down. Don't leave too much slack, right? Because if you leave too much slack, what will happen is your braid will wrap around your spool too loosely, right? And then you may well find that you get a bird's nest. Ups, that's just a really good cast. That's, yeah, this is ridiculous, right? Yeah, this is ridiculous. And what we'll do is I'm going to set up the bait in a second, right? So when I set up the bait, we'll cast out the bait rod. And look, traditionally you'll catch more fish with bait than you do with soft plastics. But at least with soft plastics, you can, you know, keep busy. And I mean, the biggest brim that I got on soft plastics was about 46, I think. So, you know, you still get them, but it's just a question of, you know, using it. And that's beautiful. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a slight tackle adjustment because what I've got is I've actually got too much leader as we have a few 28s above us. I'm probably going to get shat on by a bird here, but that's life. Hello, Kayla. Did it really? Okay. Well, thanks, mate. Just give me a look. I think you can change that in your settings, Kayla, right? You can change it to 1080 in your settings. So what I'm going to do is don't try and alter the loop, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down about, I would say, another 10 centimeters, right? Just to make it manageable. So 30 to 40 centimeters is pretty good, people, right? Capone, how are you, mate? Our most recent birthday boy. How are you, mate? I'm going well, pal. Yeah, we're just chilling out, mate. You know, I just reduced the length of this leader to make it a bit more manageable. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start working this area. All right, great. The jig that I've got is actually a bit big, but that's okay. We'll still work it out. And when you're casting and that sort of stuff, don't worry so much about distance and all the rest of it. Just concentrate on accuracy, all right? Always work and methodically. Now, as you come into shallower water like this, right, what you do then is you just drop your rod tip, because the last thing you want it to do, right, is lift your soft plastic out of the water, okay? That's the last thing that you want to do. You want it to always be in the water. Okay, and cast as close as you can to structure without actually hitting the structure, right? See how I've lowered the height of my rod tip there when I'm actually starting to retrieve the soft plastic? That way it stops it lifting out of the water. You want it to just bounce within about the first 30 centimeters or foot of the bottom, right? And just keep it in that strike zone. Beautiful. That's a good cast. Right. I'm going to let this sink. Might get snagged here, but that's life. If you're not getting snagged, you're not fishing in the right spot, are you? Yep, bit of present from the bird there. Going to do my Rocky impersonation. Urgent! With the bird shit on the shoulder. Oh, that's lovely. This is ridiculous. I'm feeling absolutely no resistance with... Oh. I'm feeling absolutely no resistance on this spool right when I cast. Nothing at all. Normally when you cast, you feel like brrr going off the spool. This is ridiculous. I think we need to get these in later. All right. So, the good thing with your gear when it's balanced and that sort of stuff, you can fish all of the river. Now, this is reasonably wide through here. I should be able to cast nearly to the other side. Like that. That's great. That's all we need. Right in the zone there. So I'm using 10-pound braid as my main line, 12-pound fluorocarbon leader, right? So let's see how that goes. And you got to remember too, with your jig heads, sometimes your soft plastic will land vertically in the water. It lands at a variety of different angles, people, okay? Awesome. I can fish this whole river from this riverbank, right? I've got no twist in my braid. I've got no twist in my line. Fantastic, people. I can actually see that line roller working as I'm using it too. Wow. All right. Oh. Steady. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fish all of this area, right? And then we'll have a bit of a cast, and then what I'll do is I'll flick a bait out. I'm just going to cast over here to these snags across the river. And I landed just underneath the snag from there. When you're using 10-pound braid, a lot of people say, oh, that's too light. It's not. 10-pound braid, if you do your knots properly, usually breaks at about 20-pound, believe it or not. So, you know, beautiful. Oh, that feels good. I can actually feel the tail on that soft plastic working too. A little bit of a bump there. Now, we do have a special stream planned this week, people. Right, so with the special stream, what we'll do is we'll be doing it from a river further south. Just depends on conditions, okay? What I'm going to do is we're going to set up with a bait in a second. I did see some what I thought was fish milling around in here. So what we're going to do is we fished across here. I'm just going to have a couple of casts in here. Then we'll set up our bait fishing rig, right? And then we'll carry on from there. So we're going to have a different angle here. Beautiful. Right, a couple more, and then we'll start mixing things up a bit. Right. What a glorious day. These, like, late winter, early spring days are fantastic. You know, a bit of a southwesterly blowing. The grass is wet from the dew overnight. You can smell all the different flowers and that sort of stuff. We've got oxalis that's flowering. We've got the red gum that's flowering. We've got 28s above us feeding on the red gum blossoms, you know. Just fantastic, people. We'll go and cook a nice meal on coals later on. Come on. And lovely. Last time I used the PE braid, I got a tangle on my third cast. This has just got nothing wrong with it. This has just got nothing wrong with it, people. Fantastic. The soft plastic has a beautiful action in the water. Everything's good, okay? And once again, thank you, Lysel, for the raid before. We will be checking out your community and we will be putting you on our auto host list, all right? All right. Now, what I've been doing there is I've been doing your traditional cast. Oh, what? Oh, really, Susie? Thanks, mate. They're called 28s. They're a native parrot. When the English settlers came out here, they thought that they sounded like they were saying 28. Okay, so all good. Right, let me just get this now. All right, let's just continue with a couple more casts. And look, people, you know, with the fishing and that sort of stuff, we like to make it more immersive. We want to be a part of our environment and that sort of thing. So, you know, I mean, I can't guarantee fish. I'd like to think I can, but you know, anyway. So what we're going to do now is, right, we've tried this jig head, okay, and we've tried this colour. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a different colour that we've caught fish on before. Good thing about soft plastics, okay, is when you finish using them, you put them back in your packet, right, and they're ready for next time. All right, and you should be able to get a few fish. Hey, Headhunter, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. Should be able to get a few fish on each soft plastic tail, you know? This is so organised. It's like a totally different world, you know? I'll show you a bit later. They're easier to see when we're doing the campfire cooking, Susie Q, right? Now, let's get that in here. Beautiful. All right. That's still going to be plenty long enough for that. And what we'll do is we'll just chuck that in there. Right. Let's see what we've got here. So that's a different soft plastic. That's a motor oil color. Okay. That's actually a very popular color for your river fishing here in WA. Okay. And I've also got some different soft plastics for a variety of different techniques here. So, and thanks to the 65 people that have stuck around in Australis TV, greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And a big shout out to the people that are watching on YouTube as well. That's a good one. Beautiful. We'll keep that out of there. Nice. So now we have a different color on. Okay. Let me just go in here for a second. Excuse me momentarily, people. What is wrong with you? Right. There we are. All right, that should sort it out. Right, let's try a different colour now, and then we'll just start the bait in a minute. So, lovely. God, this is smooth. Nice oversized bail arm. Very shallow in there. Okay. Yeah, I'll be straight up with you people. This fishing tackle is disgustingly good. Like, this is ridiculous. All right. We're going to be fishing mainly on the right-hand side today, so we'll just chuck that there. Chuck that there. Oh. Last year, we caught and released about 40 mulloway in this river. Right, so we're going to do the same thing this year, but same old story. You got to know where they are, you know. And we've actually got a fishing trip planned to Perth this year with the kayak. Going to wait for the right time of the year, and we're going to do some mulloway fishing in the Swan River, okay? So quite looking forward to that. Last time I caught a mulloway in the Swan was about 30 years ago, so... Magnificent. That is, seriously, it is effortless, people. That just is absolutely effortless. Let that sink now. I've had no issues with this braid at all. It's laying absolutely beautifully. And look, it's amazing how much difference an extra 4 millimeters on the height of a spool makes. One thing I've learned the hard way is a lot of reels that are out there are really good quality reels, not really designed too much for braid. With braid, you need longer spools, okay, so that your braid can lay evenly. This is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. What I'll do is I'll show you the difference with this soft plastic with the other one, Famo. Oh, that's right. Killy, how are you, bud? EJB Modding. Can our mods please give a shout out for PGT, Illuminati, and also EJB Modding, please, people? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just show you how these soft plastics work, right? So let's put these in the water like that. See this? All right, we'll zoom in. All right, so see this one? Look at this. See how they'll sit there in the water and then they'll end up being vertical? That's fine, because that's when normally the fish hit them. Look at that. See, check this out, watch. Hey, that's a branch, not a fish. Look at that, that's beautiful. And you can see the tail moving and everything. That's a Z-Man soft plastic from America. Look at that. Beautiful. That works really well in the water. That's what you want, you know. All right, let's put that back. PGT, what I'm doing, bud. Oh, hang on a second. What I did is I don't usually spend a lot of money on fishing tackle, right? So this is the little reel that I imported in. Okay, that's the little reel that I imported in, and this is just an Abu Veritas PLX rod. Really good value for money. I think they're about $180 or whatever. I mean, some soft plastic rods are $1,000. It's ridiculous. And I'm just testing out this reel that came in. Fantastic. I'm only using a very light jig head here too, people, that weighs nothing. When you fish for brim, you've got to go as light as you can, okay? Because it's more about the flutter of the soft plastic in the water, if you know what I'm saying. come on. Rightio, this water's just starting to creep up. We'll put a bait in a minute, people. So, PGT, I'm using 10-pound braid that we imported to test out, and it's worked really well. Normally this PE braid, the multicoloured stuff, doesn't work too well. Right. That is magnificent. Did you see that cast? That is magnificent. I don't normally get too excited with fishing tackle, but this is unbelievable. So I can fish this whole river from here, you know, using ultralight jig heads. I'm using 10-pound braid, and I'm using 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. So, you know, and that's plenty to stop any brim that's in here, you know. But obviously, it's not so much about that. It depends on the reel, depends on the rod, the braid, the fluorocarbon leader, what jig head you're using, the swivel, and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot to it, you know. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, now see across here, we've got all those branches, right? I'm going to allow for this. I'm going to just try and fish across here. Just like that. Right, now, the other thing is too, when I'm retrieving the line, I'm not allowing the line to rest on the water. I'm keeping tension on it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a two-handed cast to get that bit of extra distance that I'm trying to get here. Lovely. So that extra 4 or 5 feet's making all the difference, you know. See how I'm keeping the line straight? And it's not landing back on the water. And with this multicolored line, I can see exactly how much line's out. All right, people, just excuse me for a second. I'm just going to have a quick chat with the farmer. Hello, mate. All right, Shawnee Adventures, welcome. Sorry about that, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right, Mystic Mayhem. Right, let's go back again. Welcome, Mystic Mayhem. Sorry about that. But, you know, you got to do the polite thing. All right, let's go back to a... Right, back to the soft plackies. And the good thing about that is we gave it a bit of a break as well. Nice. All right. Got to remember too, people, with your soft plastics, they normally hit them on the drop, okay? But each day's different. You just got to figure it out when you get there. God, this is a nice reel. Yep, that's 2. Oh. Absolutely nothing to fault on this product, people. That's a lovely fishing reel. All right, we're going to put this away now. Beautifully smooth. That's ridiculous. Okay. Hey, Shawnee, no, mate, we're just about to go back to bait, okay? And a big shout out to everyone on both platforms, YouTube and Twitch. All right, so basically what we'll do is now it's 10 past 11. About 1 o'clock, we'll go up and do some cooking for the afternoon, and then we'll continue from there. Now, just making sure everything's stable in here, right, like that. Now we'll get some bait fired up, people. Now, remember, with your fishing tackle and that sort of stuff, basically what you have to do is you have to figure it out, okay? There's no right, there's no wrong, but if you're catching fish, you're doing things okay, you know? So what we're going to do now is I've got some mullet and I've got some muleys in the esky. I'm just going to get my pre-rigged bait set up. We'll chuck out a bait, and then what we'll do is we'll start mucking around with the soft plastics again. And as per normal, you normally catch more fish with your bait, obviously, than you do with your soft plastics. But, you know, even in a boat and that sort of stuff, a lot of people that fish for snapper and that sort of thing, they'll tell you some days you go out, you catch more fish on soft plastics. Other days they won't touch the soft plastics. They'll only hit baits. You just got to figure it out, you know. So... let's chuck this in here. I need the angle. What I might do, so I'm just going to fish this little gap in here, right? All right, like that. Let me just go and grab this bait rod that I've got set up. Oh. Now, with our fishing rig today, people, we're not using any chemically sharpened hooks or anything. These are just your traditional Mustad 92554 like Durriton hooks. Right, we've got a sinker down to a swivel, and that's basically it. Nothing too fancy there. So let's get back. Now, we've fished this spot quite a few times. We've caught and released easily 100 brim from here. Right. So there we are. Now, when you bait your hooks, you've got to make sure that you've got as little of your hook sticking out as possible. So we've got the point there, the eye there, the bend there. That's presented really well. Right. Actually, no. There we go. Right, that's locked in now. Bit cold. Hey, Tonics, how are you, bud? Yeah, it's pretty special, mate. You know, we're in a good part of the world. So we're just going to keep going with the fishing for a little while, and then what we'll do is we will change it up and do some cooking a bit later, which is good because then I can get warm. So if you just excuse me for a second, I just need to go to the toilet and I'll be straight back. Oh, yeah, it is a nice day, Tonics. We're just going to flick around a few soft plastics and see what's going on, you know. This is ridiculous. Seriously, people, I was a bit skeptical with the products when they got here, but this is ridiculous. Oh, hello. What I'll do, okay, let me just sort this out here. And look, another little tip, when you're fishing with your fishing tackle, right? Fishing tackle companies make a hell of a lot of money from bar arm clips. So what you do is when you cast out and you go to turn over your bar arm, do it by hand. Don't use the handle, and it'll save you a lot of money in the long run, okay? Right, now. Let's bring this back here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fish this little area here to my left, and then I'm going to put this little rod holder down, okay? Why would you do that to me? What possessed it to do that? Now, that's the streaming gods that did that. Hang on. Get out of there. Great. Come on. Not having a good start to the day, are we? Really? All starts in laughter, then ends in tears, as they say in the classics. plonk that down there. Bring it down there. Let's get a little bit more bait again. Yeah, don't forget to enter the giveaway too, people. Exclamation mark soft will get you into the giveaway, okay? All right. Now, we've got a few people watching from overseas today. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Okay, we know there's a bit of a time difference. Now, let's bring a few of these little brim into us. Okay. Who's that barking at? I'm going to chuck this in here. Like that. Good. We're all set. Nice position on that, which is good. We're going to keep a nice steady drag. Give it a bit of slack. That's going to sit in there on this little rod holder like this. I don't know whether you can see that. Right, and we just got to wait for it to go off. Just give me a second. I just got to catch up with the farmer again. Right, there we go. Hey, Western Reject, how are you, bud? Yeah, we're going to start soon, mate. We've got a little bait out. The cooking stream's going to be in about an hour and a half, okay? We'll go out and I'm going to go and cook some chicken for dinner. And, yeah, with the farmer, when they come down, I always say hello and have a bit of a chat, you know what I mean? So really sorry about that, okay? Once again, thanks to everyone on both platforms for coming through. All right, let's get on with this. Right, so we've got our little bait out here. It's pretty quiet today, people. We haven't had much action at all. I don't know whether all the fish are dead or they're still down at the salt or whatever. So, oops. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try in here and then I'm going to fish across the river. Normally, if there's a fish there, what'll happen is it normally fires up by now. Yeah, something like that, Western Reject. All right, let's go. Well, that bait hasn't been touched, has it? Let's have a look. All right, let's go across the river now. We'll just chuck that in there like that. There's our beautiful little... All right, so that sink has just hit the bottom. It's quite deep out there. All right, we'll leave that. We'll just keep going with the soft plastics, all right? Yeah, I don't really do too many campfire pizzas there, Western Reject. But we'll get the cooking going in a second. Oh, great. And this is the good thing about fishing with soft plastics. You can just keep busy, you know. And I'll tell you what, the cooking's starting to become more and more appealing because I'm absolutely freezing here, but we'll get over it. Whoops. Now that's interesting. The braid held and the loop snapped. Oh, hang on. Very quiet early season, people. Oh, thanks to the people that are still sticking around. Hey, let's try a few different soft plastics now, Famo. So they're not unraveled. It must have got it at the right angle. That's not good, Jim. Fishing's a waiting game, people. At least with the cooking side of it, we know that we're going to get some good cooking done out of it. Thank you to everyone that's watching on YouTube. Thank you very much for the 20 likes. Okay, and a big thank you to the 50 people that have still stuck around on the Twitch platform. Okay, so hey there, Vandal. How are you, bud? No, I haven't, mate. I haven't. How's that going for you? I haven't played many video games for a while. Rightio. What we might do, right, let's see if there's any mulloway out there, fam. All right, I haven't fished for mulloway yet this year, so... Hey, Vandal, how you going, bud? Good to see you, mate. Nah, there's a new way of the angler coming out too, which should get everyone, like, pretty excited, you know? All right. This should be okay. Now, we've got a boat coming past. We'll let Captain Stubing and the crew come past, and then what we'll do, we'll start fishing after that, all right? We'll just wait for this wave to slow down a bit. Tell you what, for a small boat, that's moved a lot of water on top, hasn't it? Look at that. 14 to 15 foot tinnies don't usually do that. Oh. All right, let's see if there's any little mulloway in this river, Famo, but not usually. It would be a pleasant surprise, though, because last year they didn't come up this far for some reason. Oh, all right, let's just chuck this a bit further over. More tree roots. That's better. That should be enough, I think. Let's just chuck that in there nicely. All right. Great cast. Right on the money there. Absolutely on the money. We're going to have a lot of fun this year with mulloway on this soft plastics outfit, people. It's going to be good work. Very quiet this year. Right. Beautiful. Might have to get another one of these, I think. These are lovely. Beautiful. This wind's really starting to pick up, isn't it? That's not the colour that I actually thought it was. So. Hey, Jack, how are you, bud? Come on, buddy. Rightio. Now, let's chuck that down there. And what I'll do is I'll go to a different colour. You know what? We'll just go to the old traditional white soft plastic tail fan. All right. Chuck that in there. This is rather organised for me. It's a totally different space to be in. All right, nice. What we're going to do is we're going to change colours now on the soft plastics. We're going to go down to a white soft plastic in a 3-inch tail on this weedless jig hook. Right, so once again through there like that. Oops. Boom, turn that around. There we go. Now, when you rig your soft plastics, right, what you got to do is you got to make sure that you're actually quite cautious in how you put it all together, right? Because you want to work everything off. See, right? You want to work everything off so that it's all riding nice and straight in the water. So that's a bit off. And normally with these, we're talking in, we're talking millimeters usually. So bring that down through here. No, I've stuffed it up again. Let's do this. Right, that's not good either. Great. Bring that in here. That should be a little bit better. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Ah. The good thing about using ultralight mainline, right, and also the lighter leader is it allows your soft plastics to really work in the water, right? So what we've done is we've gone to a slightly bigger soft plastic tail, and what this will do is this allows us to hopefully get some of the larger fish out there, That's lovely. I'm just going to slow things right down. It's just nice to get some good gear for a change. Wow. Like I said, we'll give it about another hour and a half, about another hour, Famo. We'll see how we go. Then we'll go over and start cooking, eh? This is beautifully balanced equipment. Right, I'm just going to let that sit for a second, I think. Whew. Right. Just with this tackle that we're testing, Famo, look how beautifully that's laying the braid on the spool. This has gone and we brought this sample in just to see how it works. Okay. And it's fantastic. I mean, the braid's laying beautifully, right? I've had no twist on the actual line. And yeah, quite shocked. And, you know, just very rare you meet people that can actually deliver with what they say they're going to use, you know. Rightio. So now, that's a really good cast there. I've actually got that between a couple of snags over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this soft plastic sit on the bottom. I'm going to give him a bit of a chance to have a look at it. Right. And I'm just going to start slowing things right down. Okay. I'm just going to leave that propped up for a second. Just going to leave that propped up with the bail arm open. Right. How did that end up down there? Well, that's really interesting, people, because we cast that all the way across the river, right? And the bait ended up down here. So what we might do is... let's leave that there for now. We'll get that out the way. We'll try again, eh? All right, let's have a look. Whew. Nah, we haven't, mate. Jacko, how are you, bud? How'd that smoked meat go that you showed us on Twitter there, mate? It end up okay? Welcome, bud. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh. Well, people, hopefully that's not an indication of how our season's going to go. That was our first hookup, and I got taken into a snag. Oh, man. Well, there we go. That's brim fishing. Let's rig up again, people. That was a very good hit. Dear. Hang on, I'm just going to send a bait out where we just got snagged, and let's see if we can get it with the bait. That's not it. Beautiful. Right, let's rig up again, shall we? Bugger, bugger, bugger. Yeah, this is the unedited version of a fishing trip, people. So, you know what I mean? Oh, tell you what, if we don't get any fish soon, we might be doing this cooking stream sooner rather than later. I mean, all the gear has just, you know... Whew. The odd eyesight's not the best. Might be doing this cooking sooner rather than later, I think. Plenty of life on the battery. What we'll do is probably cook some lunch first. And then work from there. Oh. Right. Right, let's go again. That's all you can do. Actually, why don't we try some of this? Beautiful. So we just rigged the same soft plastic again. Right. We haven't had a single bite today, people. Don't know whether all the fish are still pushed down towards the salt and they're slowly making their way back up. But yeah. Oh. Lovely. Oh, that southwesterly is a bit cold. Might have to tighten up the drag a bit, I think. Yeah, that's okay. Whew. Yeah, we might be cooking sooner rather than later, people, because it's freezing out here, especially in this shade under the trees, you know. Quite looking forward to a steak for lunch. Sensational. That's a different type of bird that I haven't heard before. Oh, great. Fantastic. Right. Okay, people. Well, the fishing is not the best today. Okay. Hey, B, it's very quiet. Kyle Todd, how are you, bud? Sorry about that. I was just trying to concentrate on the fishing. It's very, 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 very quiet today, B. Okay. It's just, yeah, absolutely dead. So, you know, one of those things, mate. I can't control the fishing, but what I can control is the cooking. So we're going to go and cook some steak in a minute because I want to have some lunch. What is it now? I'll give it another 15 and just try it. And what we'll do is we'll leave this rod down here on the rod holder, right, waiting for a fish. And then that way, you know, ugh, it's freezing. It's still very, very cold. So I don't know whether it's still a little bit too early, but, you know, Brim love to leave in these sort of conditions anyway. So, Kyle, how's life treating you, bud? You good? What's going on? Oy. Good cast. Let me just have another cast and then we'll move over. Rightio, what we're going to do is we're going to have one more cast with the soft plastics, then go across, okay? Oh, it's cold. Hey, Kyle. No, just some beef eye fillet there, Kyle. And, yeah, it's a lot warmer over near a fire than it is here, people. I'm freezing. Right, and the old sniffles are happening. Great. Rightio, last cast on the soft plastic. Oi, rubbish. Let's bring that in. Lovely. All right, well, the fish have won so far today. So let's go and cook some lunch, and then we'll cook our dinner as well. Going to do a really nice recipe with chicken today. So, hey, Trucker, how are you, mate? How are you? Are you well? Have you recovered okay, bud? Stick around, mate. We're just about to do a bit of campfire cooking. All right, let's get on with it. Oh, sniffles, all sorts of stuff. Oh, good on you, mate. Yeah, that's a good point. How much charge have I left on the laptop? %. Give me a second. Oh, I didn't, did I? I did. Right. All right, people. Let's get this sorted. Right, so we'll just chuck that under there. Chuck that under there. Good work. Now, need to get some charge into that phone. That's what happens. Right, I'm just going to leave that down there. Last time this year, we didn't really have much joy, if you know what I mean. Right, let's get in there. Good, that's charging, all's well. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to leave the bait, right, and the landing net down here. Then what we're going to do is we are going to just duck up to the little camp spot. We're going to reverse up to the fire, and we're going to do some campfire cooking. So, very quiet on the fishing today. Nice. We'll leave the bait out. If we catch something, we catch something. If we don't, hey, Extreme NZ, how are you, bud? Welcome, everyone. Let's get on with it. Oh, man. Woo. Freezing. Rightio. Let's just leave that here for a second. Right, so just bear with me, people. We're just going to move forward. Really happy with the fishing reels that we got in. Definitely going to try and sell these at some stage. Whew. Man, I'm freezing. Right, let's go. Going to show everyone how to cook a steak. All right, we're just going to shift over, so bear with me for a second. All right, we'll just chuck that there, chuck that there. All right, I'm just going to close everything up here. Probably won't have the microphone, but that's okay. All right. Oh, man, it is so cold. righty. Let's get cracking, shall we? Right, so wind direction this way, which means smoke's going to go this way. So we'll just chuck up this like that. That's our seat. There we go. It's a good angle. Right. There we go. Oh, it's pretty easy, Kyle. You don't have to make it too complicated. Just give me a second. I'll set this up. Oh, come on. All right, let's get on with it. That generator we bought last year, it's been an absolute godsend. This is what you've got to do. What happened here? All right, let's get on with this, people. Good work. We're just going to zoom in a little bit. Rightio, it's freezing. I'm just going to put another top on because it's cold. Let's go there. Let's go there. Right. A little bit warmer. Hey there, Western Reject. How are you, bud? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go across and get some bracken fern, and we're going to light this fire. Hang on a second. Man, it is freezing. Once we warm up, I'll get the old swan dry off, or swanny, or whatever it's called. There. Let's get this in here. Actually, we'll probably do that in here today, because we'll be working off our right-hand side. There. All right. So, let's get these down here. This down here. That's all we really need, actually, today for now. All right, let's get this cooking done, eh? When you're out in the West Australian bush, prior to settlement, you usually find some dry. Now this has died off, so once it dies off, and a good handful should be enough to start any fire. Right, so we've got our fire lighter. Still haven't had a single bite on that fishing rod. Right, so this is what we're going to light the fire with, okay? So this is just dried bracken fern, all right? So, oh, bit of a sort of semi-fresh one there. So see these leaves? Right, these are quite dry and may light up straight away, hopefully. Chuck that down there. Just go and get me a little axe that I've had since I was a kid. Can't beat campfire cooking, famo. It is a great Australian tradition. Come on. It's a bit blunt. It's a bit wet. I'll figure it out. That's pretty average firewood, actually. That's really average. Anyway, can only work with what we can work with. All right, might have to change the category now. Excuse me for a second. Woo. Actually, no, we'll stick to just chatting. All right. So we'll leave that there. Let's start. Man, it's starving. Now, if you see me get up and sprint off towards the river, you know that we've had a hit on the other fishing rod, okay? Let's just get this down here. Is that a good angle? Okay. That's good. Excellent. All right, all good. That's not Jarrah. That is. Beautiful. Nice to see a bit of Jarrah dry somewhere. So when you light the fire, your first bits of wood you want to be really thin. What's happened now? Hey Porgy, how are you, bud? How's life treating you? Right. Now I'll just try for a few bit bigger bits. Rightio. So, quite a simple process really. We've got our bracken fern. Now this is really damp in here because we've had winter rains and that sort of stuff. So, we'll just get our bracken fern in here. So what I'm going to do is, because the wind's blowing from this side, I'm going to light the bracken fern on this side so the wind can push the flames back into itself. Right, so quite simple. These thinner bits of Jarrah that I cut here, right, like this. Right, so these are thinner bits of Jarrah. That's not very good. Let's do that again. Right, so these thinner bits are the ones that I'm going to put on the bottom. When you've got thinner bits of wood, they have more surface area, so that's how they light. Right, so just going to lay these down like this in here, put the thinner stuff on the bottom, right, like that, like that. Let's get a few more, a few little bits is in there, right, and then what we'll do is we'll get just a nice little glow happening, you know what I mean? Come on, don't be silly now. What's the old saying? Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's better. Oh, so it swung around northwesterly. That's good. At least it's blown away from the car. All right, hopefully everything's dry, eh? Come on, that's the way. Come on. Like I said, cooking on a gas top and electric top are totally different to cooking out in a situation like this, family, you know. So I don't know whether you can hear that, but what's happening is the bracken fern's starting to get a bit of heat through the drier like leaves and that. And what I'm doing is it'll actually form almost like a, you know, nearly goes up like wood. Fairly hot though. What's happening is all the wind's blowing this way. And should I bring the camera in a bit closer to show you exactly what I'm doing here, people, or what? Should we come in a bit closer, yeah? Is that all right with you guys, or is that a bit far away? Welcome, everyone. I'll just reverse up a bit closer. Let me just get the fire going first. Can you hear the crackling? Beautiful. Come on. Let's get some heat into that. That cleared the ears out. Come on. We're going to have to go again, are we? Come on. Let's get going. Come on. Everything's really wet, people. It's going to take a bit to get going. Something like that, Welshie. It's not as dry as I thought it would be, though, but we'll see how we go. Come on. A few of them are starting to take. You can hear it by the crackling, you know. Come on. First fire of the season's usually pretty difficult because everything's so wet underneath. Come on. And you thought hats were just for putting on your head. So what we got to do is we just got to get a little bit of coals going. Come on. Here you go. I'll give you that extra, like, real campfire effect. You ready for this? Good work. Come on. There you go. Get going. Brilliant. All right, we've finally got our little bit that's taken there. Good. Everything's so damp, though. I've got one little corner, about 4 by 4 centimetres here, that's actually caught on fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to construct the fire around that. Right, nice work. Good work. Good. That's good. This is starting to come in too. Might get a bit on the back here. Right. I'll reverse in a bit. Right, and then that way you can see exactly what we're doing, all right? Coho Warren. You've been camping before yourself, son. Yes, and now we have a special visual effect known as Diesel. What I've managed to do, right, I don't know whether the internet will reach this far, but we'll risk it. Right, what I've managed to do, okay, is I've managed to trap the, see, look, what we're going to do is we're just going to get this going. Right, we've managed to trap everything under there. Come on. See how I'm just getting the wind to blow over that? It's going to fire the embers up. So, see how we've trapped all the heat underneath it there with the bracken fern? But like I said, first fire of the season's always difficult because everything's so wet, people, you know? Come on, get yarn. You can hear something. We've got no coals to work with, you know what I mean? And that's what the problem is. When you've got no coals to work with, you've got to work off flame. Come on. Once we get a bit of heat in there and she's away, she'll be all good. See how those flames are starting to come up now? Good work. So what we did was we just used our breath to direct it. Okay. Now we do things authentically on this stream, mate. Or channel, sorry. Little bit of elbow grease never hurt anyone. Yeah, just starting to get a bit of heat in this fire now. So what I'm going to do, I'm quickly going to just chop some smaller bits. Right, and get them in around the bottom. These are a bit thinner, so they should come up straight away. Come on, get in there. That's the way, get in there. Get in there, come on, get in there. Just got to get this heat up through here. Right, come on. Let's get this heat going. Beauty! Something like that. Yeah, that's a bit close. That's good. Yeah, but Shepherd just takes a bit of extra time, bud, that's all. You know what I mean? Oh, the old hat's hot. It's the warmest my head's been all morning. Rightio. So, first things we're going to do. No, they didn't get on, Porgy, at all. Didn't get on at all, mate. They're on, yeah, I think they're on strike, actually. What we might do is that, I think. Let's do that. That's a good idea. Now we've got a good angle. You see the fire. Time to cook some luncharoonski. See, the thing is, we can't really start roasting the chicken until we get some coals on the bottom of this, and the coals are going to take a while to get going because, you know, there's none of them in there. So, that's going to dry out eventually. Let's get some bigger bits of wood on here. This is half the fun when you go camping, people. Right, this is half the fun. You got to get your fire going. Right, because without fire, you got no dinner. There we go. Beautiful. Bit of jarrah burning. I think that's the stuff I left from last year. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let this burn, form a few coals, and we're going to start cooking some lunch. Sooner rather than later. Hopefully I'm starving. Oh, this is going to be a tough old nut to crack, I think. Rightio. Now, the good thing about this is what we did is we started off with the bracken fern, right? And we had little pieces of wood down the bottom. Okay, then as we went up, as you can see, all the really thick bits are on top. Now, you can already see where the gases and oils are coming out of the wood. Where that bit of wood is there, nothing's coming through, but in between, the heat's causing all the oxygen, air and that between all the wood and that to sort of start to come out. So I'll just chuck that down there. Can I get this or not? Nah. I might get one. Let's have a look. We're going to get one out of this. Beautiful. Oh, it's good wood. I don't know how we're going to split it though. That we're not going to split. Oh, we might. See how we go. This axe and I have been a friend for a long time. Oh, no chance. Nope. Try the other side. Nope. And of course I left the block splitter at home. That's off the crown, so it's not going to burn too good anyway. Won't be able to cut it. All right. Phil, how are you, mate? I used a Ryobi cordless leaf blower, eh? She'll be right, MVP. We'll get it going, mate. Beautiful. She's got plenty of heat now. Like I said, first fire of the season, always the toughest. It's a fairly strong breeze today, mate, so it's getting plenty of air and that sort of stuff. So have they put red gum in here, the dirty buggers? They have too. Oh, hang on. Bit of jar in there, I think. That might be okay. Oh, there's something fantastic about being around a campfire. Doesn't matter where you are, what you do. Now, see how we've got all this wood on top? No point starting to cook yet because we got no coals. All right, you need coals to cook with. Let's get a bit more here. That's our biggest stuff for later. You can hear all the gas and sap and everything coming out of that jarrah. Oh, beautiful. Oh, it's still warm enough though to be near it. Ah, beautiful. Hey Sith, how are you, bud? Welcome, mate. The thing is too, mate, if I lift that up now, right, everything's going to fall down. It won't rest on the concrete. What a beautiful day. It's 1 o'clock. We'll have everything cooked by 4:35, people. All right, so first protocol, right, we've got to get a bread going. So let's get all this fired up. That's going very well now. Lovely. Here you go, people. For all the ASMR types out there, there you go. Hear it? Yeah, I didn't like. Oh, yeah. Okay. Advenient, or whatever your name is. Welcome, bud. First time chatter in the stream. That's filling up the back of the car with smoke because the wind has changed. But that's all right. That's camping. Doesn't matter where you are on a camp. If you're a non-smoker, the smoke always follows you. Right. Whew. Still haven't had a single bite. So we'll just give this a chance to... That's pretty wet. Cheeky buggers. They mixed up red gum with Jarrah just to get a sale. That's red gum as well. Cheeky monkeys. There we go. Oh, I can feel the heat coming out of that now. Lovely. Chuck that one in there. Get a bit of the red gum fired up. Red gum actually burns hotter than Jarrah. Okay, and Wandoo or white gum burns the hottest of all. Nah, mate, not yet. Yeah, MVP, it's all right, bud. Don't stress, mate. This will be fine, mate. Got plenty of wind. You can see the wind's going inside the drum because of the smoke. She'll be fine, mate. You got to remember, this is not my property. I can't just go around altering stuff, you know, just to keep myself happy. I've got to just leave it, mate, and we're good. Plenty of heat coming through here. You got to remember, too, the bottom of this is wet, okay? So we've got nothing to work with underneath. Halfway through the season, when you got plenty of coals, right, it's easy because as soon as you light it up, the coals kick in and you got a beautiful even heat. You don't use as much wood, right? But what's this governor? Is that dry or wet? That's as green as grass. Oh, we'll just dry it out a bit there. Someone's belting along on the chook chasers. Good. Beautiful. It's easier when you're not using a truck rim, but like I said, I'm on a farm, so I've got to, you know, use the designated areas. So this will probably burn for about a half hour and then we'll start cooking. Nice bit of heat coming up from that. The other thing you got to remember too, people, is with this paddock, if I use diesel or petrol, right, this is actually a paddock that's food for cattle. You don't want to contaminate any of that, you know what I mean? So, and if I can get enough heat in this,